We're showing you how to make the Valentine heart wreath kit here from the wreath shop as an oval shape, the way that Lisa did this on our Facebook Live video. Now this method may be a little more advanced, but you can purchase this kit and make it however you want. Again, you can find this at thewreathshop.com, and we'll drop the link below for you to find. Here we took our regular 15-inch frame and took the 10-inch pink deco mesh and did 10-inch poofs all around the center ring of the frame. So you will pull out a section of mesh measuring about 10 inches and then tie it into the tinsel ties on the frame. Do that all the way around the center ring, and once you've tied the last poof in, cut the mesh, leaving a tail long enough to tuck away into the frame, about 4 inches or so. Next, we're going to grab both the pink deco mesh and the red deco mesh and cut 30-inch pieces. We'll need 5 30-inch pieces of each color. We like to layer both colors on top of each other to make the cuts easy and do them both at the same time using our rotary cutter. You can also purchase the rotary cutter and self-healing mat from the wreath shop. You can find them under the tools section, but we'll also drop the links below. Once those are cut, we'll next make 4 20-inch cuts of each color that will go around the center of the ring. Grab your wreath and take one piece of the 30-inch mesh and let the outer edges roll in naturally. Then scrunch it down the center to make a cruffle. This is a cross between a curl and a ruffle. Take this piece of mesh and tie it into a set of ties on the outside ring of the wreath frame. Do this all the way around the outer ring of the frame, alternating colors with one piece of mesh per ties. So we started with a red piece, next we'll tie in a pink piece, then we'll go back to red, and so on, all the way around the outer ring of the frame. Once you're done with the outer ring, do the same with the 20-inch mesh on the inner ring. Try to make it so the colors are staggered. So where there is pink on the outer ring, we'll take a red and tie that in on the inner ring next to it so the colors are staggered and evenly distributed throughout the wreath. Again, alternate colors with one piece of mesh per ties. So we'll do pink next, then red again, and then pink. Once you're done adding all the mesh, we're going to bend the wreath into an oval shape. Pick up your wreath and place it on its side against the table and press down on it to get it to bend a bit until it's in a bit of an oval shape. This can also be done before you add mesh if you prefer. Now we'll add our heart sign. We've stapled 3 chenille stems on the back of the sign with a staple gun. We're going to attach the sign in the middle, add 1 big Lisa bow on top and 1 on the bottom, and then we'll roller coaster ribbon down the sides of the wreath. So go ahead and tie the chenille stems down onto the frame to secure the sign. Now we'll start on our Lisa bows using the 4 ribbons. Take the red 4-inch Swiss dot ribbon to start with for the base layer of the bow. We're going to do short tails here that are just a little bit longer than the loops. So we'll make 1 loop it's about 7 inches long, and pinch and twist the ribbon to keep the pattern side facing up. Make your second loop, then you'll pinch and twist and make your third loop, making sure all of your loops are about the same size. You can measure them up against each other. After your third loop, make sure to pinch and twist again to keep the pattern side up on your tail, then cut that tail off. Then we'll take a chenille stem and wrap it around the bow, just giving it a couple twists, and then set it aside. Since we're making 2 identical Lisa bows, we'll go ahead and make another bow just the same as we just did. So grab that red ribbon again, get your tail, pinch it, make your first loop, pinch and twist, make your second loop, pinch and twist, make your third loop, then pinch and twist and cut your tail off. Again, grab your chenille stem and tie it around your bow. Give it a couple twists and just set it to the side. Now we'll do the same with the pink and red polka dot ribbon, making the loops a little bit smaller. Go ahead and make your first loop and measure it against the loops of the red bow to make sure it's about a finger width shorter. Pinch and twist, make another loop, pinch and twist, make your third loop, checking to make sure they're all the same size, and cut your tail. Take your red bow and your pink bow, layering them so that the 2 loops on one side of the pink bow point up and line up with the side of the red bow with 1 loop and 2 tails pointing up. Untie your chenille stem and retie it in the center of both and set it aside. Repeat this for the other bow. Next, we'll take the 1.5-inch red heart ribbon and make the same 3-loop bow. Make your first loop and measure it up against your last bow to make sure the loop is just a little bit smaller again. Pinch and twist, make your second loop, pinch and twist, make your third, pinch and twist, and cut your tail. Have your new bow in one hand with 2 loops pointing up and layer on top of the pink bow while it has 1 loop and 2 tails pointing up. Untie and retie the chenille stem. If you have a bow maker and prefer to use that, you certainly can as well. Again, make 1 more 3-loop bow with the red heart ribbon and add it on to your other bow. Finally, we'll make another 3-loop bow with the pink and red stripe ribbon, with the loops slightly smaller again. Now we'll add this bow onto the larger bow, and this will finalize the full Lisa bow. So when tying it back together with the chenille stem, make sure everything is lined up right and the pattern sides of the ribbons are facing up and everything looks just right. Wrap the chenille stem back around the entire bow where you've been gripping it and where you've got it pinched. Grip it tightly and pinch tightly with the chenille stems and give it a nice several twists, making it nice and tight to hold it all together. Repeat all this again for the final bow. Now grab your wreath and we're going to add the bows to the wreath. We'll add one bow to the bottom at the tip of the heart. Place your bow there where you want it and pull the chenille stems through the mesh and tie down to the wire frame, securing it nice and snug. You can go back afterwards when you're done and trim the stems. Once you've got your bow attached, you can go ahead and fluff it and trim all the ribbon tails, dovetailing them. Turn your wreath and we can add the other bow to the top above the heart. Again, place your bow where you'd like it and pull the chenille stems down through and twist snugly onto the wreath frame itself. And again, you can fluff your bow and dovetail the tails. And now you can see how your wreath is really coming together. So next, we're going to add ribbon in a roller coaster style down the sides of the wreath. Let's start with the red Swiss dot ribbon. Under the top bow, tie in the ribbon, leaving a small tail. Take out a section of the ribbon and tuck it up and into a tie on the outer ring of the frame, keeping the ribbon a little loose. You don't want it snug, you want to keep it loose so it has some movement that gives it that roller coaster effect. Keep doing the same thing around the outside of the wreath, pulling out a section and tucking it up into a tie, keeping it nice and loose. Keep going down the wreath along that outside edge until you get down to where the bow is. Again, this is not the way you have to use this wreath kit. You can do it however you like. This is just the way that Lisa wanted to do it that night. So she makes one more loop and ties it in underneath the bow and then cuts a short little tail, and you can dovetail it. Then turn the wreath and do the same thing on the other side. Starting up at the top, tie in the ribbon, leaving a short tail. Loop it to an outer tie on the outer ring of the frame. Tuck it up and tie it in. Keep it a little loose. And then go down the outer ring of the frame, doing the same thing again. Lisa then goes back and makes sure she dovetails all those ribbon ends. Now we're going to take the striped ribbon and do the same thing, running it over the red ribbon. We're just going to add it in the same exact place as the red ribbon, tying it in and running it down along the top of the red ribbon. Again, tie the last loop in underneath the bow and then leave a tail. And again, do the same thing on the other side of the wreath with the same ribbon. Start it up at the top with a tail, loop it to the outer edge and run it down the side of the wreath, just running it right along top of the red ribbon and leaving a tail at the bottom. And now we're going to add ribbon tails throughout the wreath to fill in, using the smaller 3 ribbons and dovetailing the ends. Lisa chose to use a couple of ribbons and tie them in first and then cut them off. You can do whatever you would like here. If you want to cut the ribbon pieces first and dovetail them before tying them in, sometimes that's easier. And you can pick whichever ribbons you want to group together to put them in, but we always like to do 2 or 3 together. Just keep adding ribbon tails throughout your wreath wherever it looks like they're needed to fill in. We love this color combination of the red and pink for Valentine's. It's so much fun. We love the polka dots and the stripes, and they match the sign perfectly. Again, you can purchase this Valentine Heart Wreath Kit at thewreathshop.com. If you go under Wreaths and then Wreath Kits, you'll find all of the wreath kits that we have available. We'll also drop the link to this wreath kit below. You can see where Lisa sometimes used all 3 of these ribbons together and placed them in the wreath. And finally, we're adding tails under the bottom bow here with the 3 smaller ribbons. There isn't a twist tie there, so we're just going to use a chenille stem to tie them together and tie them onto the frame. Now take a minute to step back and fluff and zhuzh your wreath and get it just the way you like it. And voila, you have a beautiful Valentine's wreath. Please visit our YouTube channel and like and subscribe to see more tutorials.